Don't pretend otherwise. You would love to get paid to do nothing. Imagine sitting around, sat in a chair, just staring at a wall, and then bing, some cash turns up. Who would turn that down? An idiot. That's who. And are you an idiot? I think not. It's one reason why getting mad at Brock Lesnar's deal is ridiculous, but there's more here, as it's not like he's the only one. His contract may have been one of the best in WWE history, but hurling money at a wrestler to then forget about them and have them sit around at home is nothing new. It happens a lot, and probably always will. If the promoter has nothing for you to do but they don't want to let you free, there's nothing else for it. I'm Simon from WhatCulture, and this is 10 WWE superstars who are paid to do nothing. Number 10, Shawn Michaels. We can all debate till those damn cows come home as to whether Shawn Michaels version 1 was better than Shawn Michaels version 2, or vice versa. Either way, few could deny that he is one of the best pro wrestlers we've ever seen. With that said, perhaps the greatest work he ever did was the spell spent on the sidelines between 1998 and 2002. Horrendous back injuries threatened to stop HBK during his prime years until a nasty bump onto a coffin, because wrestling, finished him off for years. After WrestleMania 14, the torch was passed to Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Michaels was off to an early retirement, as ludicrous as that sounds now. During this downtime though, Shawn kept on getting paid, and he did so for 4 years, even though he wasn't doing anything. He would pop up every now and then and was even the commissioner of Raw for about 30 minutes, but it was not a common occurrence, and on top of that, when Michaels did come to say hello, there was always something to chat about afterwards that wasn't to do with the event. Despite all of this, the bug came back in 2002, and Michaels would be an in-ring performer once more. Maybe he just got bored. Number 9, Neville. When Neville stormed out of the October 9th, 2017 Raw, it wasn't overly surprising when you took a step back and looked at all the information. Despite stealing shows on 205 Live and having countless good matches, WWE never really even looked in his direction, right down to taking his pre-show bout against Austin Aries off the WrestleMania DVD. I mean, that is a kick in the teeth. Feeling like he'd shown his value time and time again and frustrated with his creative direction, he just stopped coming to work. Not a bad strategy. It obviously didn't go down too well with management as they froze his contract, so all he could actually do was sit at home. That lasted all the way through to August 2018 when he was quietly released. He's now back out in the wild and smashing it up everywhere and having amazing matches with pretty much everyone he comes face to face with. Given everything with AEW, his timing couldn't be more perfect either. What's next for Puck is unknown, but he will ultimately feel far better than he did losing belts to Enzo Amore. Number 8, Sting. I think we can all agree when Sting finally made it to WWE in 2014, it's pretty damn cool. I was watching the footage just the other day on YouTube thinking, man, wasn't that fun? Seeing the icon in a Vince McMahon-owned ring just felt right, even if during his time there, he didn't do all that much. Starting by taking a loss at WrestleMania thanks to Triple H, because of course, the Stinger didn't make another appearance until the following August, 175 days later, when he pretended to be a statue. And people say WWE writes stupid stories. This did mean he literally stood completely still for 10 minutes until he was revealed by a stupid surprise Seth Rollins. 3 weeks later, in retaliation for this, Rollins seriously injured Sting and the man had to sadly retire. In just over a year and a half, WWE had only managed to eke out 4 matches from a proper legend that fans still wanted to see. It's fair to say that overbooking him would have been just as bad, but today it feels like we never got enough and could have enjoyed this so much more. We miss you, Sting, every day in our hearts. Number 7, Hulk Hogan. After WrestleMania 8, the Hulk Hogan balloon was ready to burst. The Hulkster had been walking tall in WWE for the better part of a decade, but controversy and mayhem had taken away his magical aura. Throw in a disastrous appearance on the Arsenio Hall show, and everybody involved decided it would probably be best if Hogan went away for a while. Effectively, WWE wanted to shove Hogan in a metaphorical cupboard to let some of the heat die down and hopefully get the fans to miss him. It wasn't an ideal solution because guess what happened during this downtime? That's right, Hogan was still getting paid, and this all got worse when he returned in 1993 ahead of WrestleMania and the audience had already turned against him. Hogan then decided he would muscle his way into the main event of WrestleMania in the world title, but alas, this felt flat too. Eventually, Hulk would go away again, which he was also compensated for, before leaving WWE altogether and heading over to WCW, where he earned loads of cash for less dates. Oh, Hogan. Number 6, Brock Lesnar. The man of the hour who's too sweet to be sour. Everybody's mad at Brock for his mega contract, which only saw him work 4 matches in WWE back in 2018. How many he'll do in 2019 is anybody's guess, although we have had one so far at the Royal Rumble. So not a bad gig, really. I bet his back and knees feel wonderful. Even better than all this, or worse, depending on your outlook, is that the Beast held the Universal title for 504 days and only defended it 11 times before he won it again at WWE Crown Jewel. And yes, that's less than one per month and takes WWE's "you must defend this in 30 days" stipulation and hurls it into the toilet. He does occasionally show up on Raw, and eventually his absence was written right into a storyline to try and help Roman Reigns. And you can get mad at him as much as you'd like, but would anyone turn this down? No, you'd be mad too. Lesnar just seems to be the master of using companies and pitting them against each other, which is why rumours of his potential UFC return won't go away. Why not pay him more in order to keep him exclusive to your brand? And then, yes, just let him sit at home. Number 5, The Ultimate Warrior. In the weeks prior to SummerSlam 91, The Ultimate Warrior, who was advertised for the show's main event, went back to parts unknown. Frustrated with how he was treated compared to Hulk Hogan, Warrior demanded his salary be topped up to match his rival and wouldn't work until he received the satisfaction. He was ready to go to war with Vince McMahon at any cost. Of course, the boss wasn't about to waste months of build for the pay-per-view, but nor was he going to let Warrior have him over a barrel. It's not Vince McMahon. He would have been thinking about it day and night. So he went all Vince. While at first he agreed to the demands, he did so long enough just to get through SummerSlam. Once that was over, Warrior was slapped with a suspension. The Ultimate One still got his money before he packed his bag, went home, and just sat around, probably shouting some gibberish. Number 4, Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner, all things considered, should have been a major success in WWE. Just look at the man. Vince McMahon loves huge dudes, and few are more huge than Big Papa Pump. Even today his arms are bigger than most people's heads. Maybe this was the problem, however. Finding himself in a feud with Triple H, the rumour goes that Steiner was asked to undergo a pre-wellness test, but refused unless the game did the same. Apparently the result to this was neither man getting tested, and then Steiner started to see himself falling down the card. Make of that what you will. He made his final appearance at the Royal Rumble 2004, but was bizarrely kept on the payroll until August and paid to, you guessed it, just sit around. He then got released from WWE as he was dealing with an injury. Not the coolest thing in the world. Number 3, The Undertaker. 2018 was a busier year than usual for The Undertaker. Other than his customary WrestleMania match, the dead man also sprang back to life to bury Rusev and faced off against Triple H in Australia, and had another one at Crown Jewel where he took on the Game and Shawn Michaels with Kane standing by his side. Usually we don't see him all that much though, and nobody deserves these long breaks more than the dead man, but it still ties into the title of this video. After falling to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 33, Taker hinted retirement was coming, but then obviously changed his mind, as he's wont to do. This ambiguity did allow him to take some time off, however, and he was gone for a whole year before he changed his mind. And yes, he was getting paid the whole time. And fair play. The Phenom must have a job for life at this stage, and again, can anyone begrudge him that? If so, you're probably a bit nuts. Don't forget too, you can now book Taker for appearances through his social media channels. The rumour is, he costs $25,000 an hour. Better start that stopwatch. Number 2, CM Punk. CM Punk's departure from the WWE was far more public than I imagined he wanted it to be. When he left in January 2014 upon hearing his WrestleMania plans were situated around Triple H, whereas Batista just walked back in to eat up the main event, he left. He wasn't going to come back. Obviously no one knew that for sure straight away, so Vince McMahon just told everybody that he was on sabbatical. This soon turned into what it did, and for a good while all of this was funded by WWE as the situation tried to sort itself out. Punk was slapped with an initial 2-month suspension for vanishing, before he continued to sit out of action until July. Everyone still hopes for a return at some point, but given he wasn't at All In, which would have resulted in a huge amount of buzz, it seems safe to say he's done with wrestling, as he keeps mentioning. Enjoy him for what he was, not what he may be again. Deep right there. Number 1, JTG. JTG's last televised WWE match, where he lost to Santino Marella on Superstars taping, came on the 20th of September 2013. And yet he wasn't released from his WWE contract until the following June. I don't think JTG understands this either. By that point, the former member of Crime Time's long-running tenure had become somewhat of a joke. His WWE lifeline became an online meme, with the internet trying to figure out who would last longer, JTG's WWE run or The Undertaker's streak. In the end, JTG outlasted the Phenom's historic record by 67 days. It's not like the man wasn't aware of all this either. When the sword of Damocles eventually dropped onto him, he tweeted, "Damn, why did I pick up my phone?" Like if he hadn't, WWE would have just forgotten, or like a child that stops moving late at night hoping to stay up just a little bit longer because maybe their parents will forget too. Know of any other wrestlers who are paid to do nothing? Make sure you tell us in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Then head on over to WhatCulture.com and read yourself some articles, and follow WhatCulture on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. My name is Simon from WhatCulture, and I will talk to you again soon.